I'm so sick of this, y'all. It's really ridiculous how they treating black women up here in these streets. First, Kevin Hart Rose, that clear man, got on there and called her a man. Okay, Cheryl Underwood called her a man. Now they're joking about Michelle Obama is a man, which they've been joking about. And this is what I want to know. Where is the outrage from black women? Now, if this was a transgender saying this, if this was EJ Johnson saying this, then y'all would be up in arms. We would never hear enough of it. But when it's a man saying it, a Republican man saying it, you're quiet. Why is that? A Republican clear man saying it, you're quiet. Why is that? But we do have a lot of black men I've saw spoken out about this, and a lot of white men spoken out about this. So shout out to the black man and the white man speaking out. We're going to look at some clips. They're speaking out. Let's react to it. But the black women seem like they're very quiet on this situation. And this situation been going on for a while. We got on TLC Chili for pushing that narrative that Michelle Obama is a man, you know. So comment, let us know your thoughts on this. You guys know where it was at. It was at Trump. Trump is pushing it. The people behind him, whoever is got him on a string, because I believe Trump is a puppet, they're pushing this agenda, and next thing you know, all black women are going to be looked upon as men. All right, comment, let us go.
Really ugly moment at the White House UFC event Sunday when heavyweight champ Josh Hokett, after his beatdown of Derek Lewis, decided to take his moment in the sun and smear a former First Lady.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Hokett.
I cannot even imagine how Republicans in Congress or the MAGA world would react if a similar disgusting thing was said about First Lady Melania Trump at an official event. And it would be nice if there was one standard for such things and how we treat each other. The event, of course, had already raised a lot of eyebrows and criticism. UFC paid for the event, but they also, no doubt, made a ton of money in merchandise sales and sponsorship deals and subscriber growth. And to critics, frankly, the whole event looked rather political, and to others, the merging of politics and entertainment was distasteful. Part of the staging at the press conference took place at the Lincoln Memorial with military personnel and honor guards being used. People objected to the idea of using military honor traditions for an entertainment event, using a almost sacred memorial site, the Lincoln Memorial, for a promotional event. Now, the Trump folks argued that this is all in celebration of America's 250th birthday. This is not about Trump. This is not about MAGA. This is not about the Republican Party. I guess the question is then, is insulting a Democratic First Lady part of that celebration? And if so, is the celebration for everyone in this country, or just one particular group of people with certain political beliefs? When asked about Hokett's comments, White House spokesman Stephen Chung said, quote, "He had a great win last night. He showed toughness and the ability to pressure his opponent both on his feet and on the ground." When I asked, hey, the White House understandably protests when people insult First Lady Trump, how does your refusal to criticize Hokett for his remarks about First Lady Obama, how does it square with that? The White House refused to directly address the question.
So first off, any slander coming from a sentient thumb in an American flag bandana is automatically rendered null and void. Any slander from a nigga dressed like Bandit Keith from Yu-Gi-Oh, null and void. This nigga looks like he sells fake baccarat out of a mall kiosk. You fought in a ghetto-ass dystopian celebration of poor white Lupin class culture. You have no class or cultural upper hand on Michelle Obama. All jokes aside, this phenomenon is called hypervisibility. Nicole Fleetwood, in her book Troubling Vision, Performance, Visuality, and Blackness, argues that Black people, especially Black women, exist in a state of hypervisibility. They're constantly watched, analyzed and turned into symbols while their actual humanity is ignored. Black women are hypervisible when their bodies become public debate, hypervisible when their appearance is scrutinized, hypervisible when they don't conform to white standards of femininity. But at the same time, they are invisible when it comes to empathy, protection, and being recognized as human beings. Black women face essentially social death. This situation also highlights how cis Black women experience certain forms of transphobia and why it's not beneficial for Black people to be transphobic, because it normalizes attitudes and behaviors in a culture that says it's okay to misgender or otherwise Black women for not living up to white beauty standards. Overall, I know that Michelle Obama is somewhere chilling and not worried about being insulted by that one nigga who was teaching karate in Napoleon Dynamite. So she's fine.
Nobody's covering this. Nobody's talking about this other than the Daily Beast. And if you watched it in real time, you might have missed it because they cut away so fast. But towards the end of the night, one of the UFC fighters, I don't even care to learn who they were, as they finished praising God and their religious beliefs, decided to say, Michelle Obama's a man, am I right? And then the camera cut away pretty quick, turned on Donald Trump, who sat there with a sly smirk on his face as the crowd erupted in laughter. And this fully exemplifies what happened last night on the White House lawn. The White House grounds were desecrated by blood and fighting, all to benefit a vain man celebrating his birthday. The Nitro Circus jumping, the color guard honoring the fighters, the fireworks going off, and it was all rain delayed by about 1 hour due to lightning nearby, but then went off and ran its full length. Commercial after commercial, if you decided to watch it, would have been for one Trump thing or another. It was propaganda for the U.S. military time and time again, and well, just overall, it was exactly as you would expect. It was all to benefit a vain, fragile, ego man and spread vile hatred. That's exactly what it was. It's exactly what it did.
Just so we're all clear, the reason these men make jokes about Black women, specifically dark-skinned Black women, being men, is because they want to encourage violence against Black women. Because, see, when you attribute masculine qualities to a Black woman, then other men feel like it's okay for them to attack and be violent, whether online or physically, towards Black women. And that's always been the case. That is why they've always made these jokes about Michelle Obama, because they can't stand how beautiful she is and the fact that she's able to accomplish so much so gracefully. And the platform that he used to say this is not coincidental. It's not a coincidence that he said it on a platform after winning a sport that is very violent. And the last thing I'll say is that this is strategic. They know that Michelle Obama could potentially run for president and win 2 terms. And they don't want that. So they're starting early with the smear campaign. Even though she said she doesn't plan to run for president, they don't even want to take the chance because they already know that a woman who is qualified or as qualified as her running for president would run circles around them. And being a mediocre white man would no longer be okay.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama was verbally attacked at Donald Trump's 80th birthday spectacle in the South Lawn of the White House in a way so disgraceful that I refuse to repeat it here. That attack has a history. Misgendering Black women, stripping them of their womanhood are tactics that white people use to justify the rape of enslaved Black women, the stealing of their children, and forcing them to labor in the fields for the pleasure of white families. It's not a joke. It's not trash talk. It's a weapon with a long and ugly history. The fighter's name was Josh Hockett, and every elected official or public figure who is there needs to condemn his remarks. Joe Rogan heard it, said nothing. Dana White said nothing. Donald Trump and his vice president, J.D. Vance, a proud Catholic man, said nothing. His cabinet members, Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, were there and said nothing. House Speaker Mike Johnson, a white evangelical Christian, was there and said nothing. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg was there. Trump's family was there, and they all said nothing. And then there's Melania Trump. All throughout antebellum American history, the plantation mistresses were just as guilty as their racist husbands. Melania Trump is the plantation mistress of the modern era. She sat right next to her husband while a former first lady was attacked on the grounds of the People's House and said nothing. Michelle Obama served this country with grace and dignity for 8 years, and they can't stand it. 10 years ago this summer, she stood at a podium and told the world that she woke up every morning in a house that was built by slaves. MAGA called it divisive. Fact checkers called it accurate. Now, on those same grounds, they're trying to put her back in her place. Anyone who is a part of this spectacle who won't condemn this attack on America's most admired woman is not just complicit, they're guilty. And we're coming for them too.
What's up, y'all? I want to speak on something that just made me sad. This UFC fighter yelled, "Michelle Obama is a man."
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
I'm not even mad. I'm just sad. It's an event at the White House celebrating the 250 years of America's existence. And after winning a fight, I presume the dude won, don't know his name. Why are you just intentionally being mean, intentionally spreading hate? Michelle Obama is an incredibly intelligent black woman, a Harvard Law grad that transcended being a first lady with her push for a healthy living, her push for financial literacy, her push for just excellence in every way, shape, or form. And you have the ignorance to spread hate for literally no reason. I don't even know what Michelle Obama did to you. But like, why choose in that moment to just be mean? That's not what America should be about. Nah, we're celebrating 250 years. That's not it. Michelle Obama, we love you. You're an incredible woman. Incredible woman.
A UFC fighter screamed, "Michelle Obama is a man," at the end of his victory speech at the UFC 250. No apologies have been issued by the UFC or the White House about the statement, which we expected. We knew that was going to be the case. But I think this really does demonstrate what the UFC 250 embodies, what it calls, what it invites on people. Attacks for no reason. He said this at complete random. I'm not even going to tell you his name. He just doesn't deserve the accolades. And there was no reason to mention Michelle Obama. He just did this for the sake of it. And right after he made the statement, he says, "Am I right, America?" And some people cheered. Some people looked aghast in the crowd, but a lot of people still cheered because of the crowd that they amassed. And if this isn't an example of the fall of Rome, I don't know what more is. This is all just entertainment. This is all pulling at the racist and sexist and bigoted heartstrings of his base, trying to get them back. This is all giving them the entertainment to keep them distracted by the fact that Rome is falling. And it's really ridiculous. The Obamas have been out of office for so long, a decade, and to just bring up Michelle Obama for no reason and then insult her is weird. And it just seems like it's giving theater. It's giving fakeness. It's giving, I need to appeal to these people so I can, keep them under my thumb or keep them in my corner. It just seems ridiculous because of the randomness of it. And just really quick, just so I can explain what I mean by the fall of Rome, just understand one of the things Rome did to cause its own destruction was devalue its currency. It started removing the gold and silver in the coins and putting less precious metals in it. And when people discovered that was happening, vendors raised their prices. Inflation just went through the roof. Inflation got so bad that a lot of people in the Roman Empire just lost faith in the currency and started bartering.
And this affected the empire so much that they couldn't maintain themselves because the most of their spending was going to military spending and administrative costs, meaning paying all the big wigs, the senators and all the emperors and all that, and then paying all that military budget. And lo and behold, here's the United States spending a gross amount of money on military budget. We have the president outright saying that he likes inflation, and that he has really no intention of bringing inflation down. And he also has said that he wants to devalue the US dollar. We're at the fall of Rome, but we're making fun of first ladies, misgendering them during Pride Month, no less. This is just not a healthy place to be. And I'm hoping there are some staunch supporters that start to realize nothing good has come. There's been no support. Nothing good has come for this. I'm struggling to buy groceries and gas, but now we're having a fight on the White House lawn. I'm struggling to afford groceries, but we're having dirt bikes doing backflips on the White House lawn. What are we doing? Why aren't y'all fixing things? We're at active war and y'all are just going to shows and enjoying yourselves instead of stopping the war. I'm hoping they wake up soon. So, because this is irreparable damage. Anyway, love you, Obamas. Y'all have a great day.